Hey guys, Jeremy here, Mindset Mastery, Peak Performance Relationship, and I just came from a coffee meetup with some high net people, some investors, and we got into the topic of risk and why people don't do the things they do. And I talked about the idea living at cause versus living at effect. And I kind of wrote it down for them, drew out a diagram, and several of the guys were like, I've never heard this. This makes so much sense. Why aren't we teaching this more? So I'm putting this out in the Unstoppable Mindset, which is my free Facebook group, the King Circle, which is my paid group, as well as YouTube, because this is an important concept for why people struggle. Even high net individuals, they don't have to worry about money problems, but they still suffer. They still struggle. They're still in pain. What's going on? That would not be me if I was at that level. And the truth is, more likely than not, it will be you if you were at that level. And I'm going to explain why, and it's going to make sense. So go through this training and then tag someone, share someone, give this to someone, because people out there are struggling, suffering, drinking, drugs, suicide. They're finding all kinds of unhealthy ways to cope, and this training is going to make so much freaking sense. So I call it living at cause instead of living at effect, right? Think about throwing a rock in the water, and that creates ripples. Most people are caught up in the ripples. Said another way, if you throw a rock at a dog, the dog chases the rock. If you throw a rock at the lion chases you. So we have to be like a lion and chase the source of what's coming at us, not try to deal with what's coming at us, right? It's like the fruit isn't what you want. Cool, it's too late. The fruit came from the roots. When we deal with the roots and give them what they need, the fruit will be there automatically, because that's how the nature of things work. Get to the source, get to the cause, master that, and the effect will be there any day, any night. And this is true physically, like with your health and fitness. It's true mentally with your mindset. It's true emotionally with how you feel about things. It's true spiritually, like how much are you actually living your faith versus you profess it, but you don't feel it. It's true financially, and it's true in your relationships. So when we get to the source and figure out things there, we will know, because the fruit, the results of the things we're doing, produces the thing that we're looking for. Okay, so let's break down the mechanism, because euphemisms are great, theory is great. I work in the world of quick turnarounds, massive impact, short period of time, because I have specific frameworks. At the end of this, if I've done my job properly, you're going to say, I know Kung Fu, I see the Matrix, because that's what this is. All right, so without further ado, let's jump to the slides. So cause is greater than effect. Said another way, like life happens for me is better than life happens to me. However, I can find the good in any situation is better than either of those. See, life happens to me, I'm at the effect, I'm at the ripples. Life happens for me is positive. It's like, oh, there's some deeper meaning, some deeper purpose. The thing is, you're waiting for the wisdom fairy to come and twang you on the head. I can find the good in any situation is positive, and it's proactive. It says, I can find the good. I'm not going to wait for it. I'm not going to sit there and have hope and faith and prayer and wait. No. God's not going to tie your shoelaces without you. You have to be a participant in your own rescue. If you want the result, you have to go at it, right? I didn't want to make $1 million. They made me, said nobody ever. You have to chase that stuff down, not because you don't deserve it, but because it requires you to operate in a way different than you were raised, most likely. Okay, so I can find the good in any situation. And now that you've seen situation, you're going to use that, because it's a great way to frame it. When guys are talking to me, they're usually in the shit. So that being said, let's look at it another way. Cause is greater than effect, or the internal is greater than the external. Okay, so let's take this out of what do you mean internal, what do you mean external? All right, let's pretend. Let's say in your life there's A and there's B and there's C, and when you add those together, that creates your life. Okay, now, right at this moment, what are those factors A, B, C? Don't worry about it, not important. Just an idea at this second. But let's pretend that somebody you know, not you, of course, somebody you know has some sort of pain in their life, some sort of area they don't feel comfortable, they're not really excited, they're not really enthused, there's some sort of struggle or some sort of doubt, some sort of fear, some sort of unresolved thing. Not you. of course. I'm not talking to you. Everybody else. Other people. But for whatever reason, this person's negative 500, and yet on the outside, to the world at large, oh, you're so successful. You have a health and youth and a career and a car and air conditioning and credit cards and to the world, you're there. And we're just going to pretend, we're going to call it 10,000 units of positive energy. Not you, of course. I mean, the rhetorical, somebody else, right? This hypothetical person with this pain inside that they may or may not be aware of, this pain that they may or may not be able to define, but they're 10,000 there. But they know they have this pain and they don't know how to explain it. So when we balance this equation, we have negative 500 on one side, we have positive 10,000 on the other. When we add these two sides together, what do you end up with? Right, 9,500. It's not quite 10,000, but it's pretty close, pretty reasonable. Feels pretty good, right? And yeah, it's a little bit off, but that's normal. No one's 100% happy in their life all the time, everywhere. There's a little bit of clouds in everyone's life, right? I mean, yeah, pain's part of the deal. We all have things we need to grow and work and improve. But let's take that number on the outside and let's make it bigger. Let's add fuel to that fire. Let's make it 10 million. You are 10 million there. The house, the car, the fame, the accolades, the praise, the success, the job, the career. You're an athlete, you're a celebrity, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're an investor, you're a high net individual. You are a high net worth person. What is it? They say a high value man, right? Not a term I use very much. I have to think about that. But you're there. 10 frickin' million in the eyes of the world. But you still know somewhere inside there's a doubt, there's a fear, there's an insecurity, there's that negative 500. And so when we balance this 10 million and we got that negative 500 and we subtract that out, what do we end up with? Now, I asked this to the group there and they were like, oh, 9.5 million. No, it's not 9.5 million. It's 9.9995 million. But you know what that really is? It's not 10 fucking million. That's what it is. It's 9 million. 500 short of 10. No. It's 7 figures, not 8 figures. It's multimillionaire, not decamillionaire. And it sounds petty and it sounds childish unless you've been around people that operate at this level, because millionaire is awesome. Multimillionaire is an identity shift beyond millionaire. Decamillionaire is another identity shift beyond even multimillionaire. But to be at 10 million in the eyes of the world and to carry that negative 500, I might as well just be some random 7-figure person. And all of a sudden, what on the inside is actually 500 units of pain is perceived, is felt like millions of units of pain. Because feeling is subjective. Feeling is arbitrary. Feeling is made up. Feelings are the reality inside ourselves. There's no 500 units of pain that, oh, you didn't make a credit card payment. That is 22.7.3 units of pain. That doesn't exist. There's no such thing as that, right? It's subjective. For some people, if they miss a credit card payment, it is death, and they are the worst human being that ever lived. And for other people, they miss a credit card payment. Hey, them's the breaks. You win some, you lose some. Got to get things done. Got to rob Peter to pay Paul. Got to focus on where I'm at and got to go where the money is. Got to go where my thing is. And, I'll catch them up. I'm not buying anything. I'm not making any big purchases. I don't care about my credit score right now. It's not important. Different people have different rules. But what I want you to understand is no matter how big we make that number on the outside, it will never fix, solve, resolve, or heal that internal state. That internal thing. And in fact, the bigger we make the number on the outside, the bigger the pain becomes on the inside. Because we have this feeling, even if we can't fully explain it, we have this feeling, this knowing something ain't right. I'm too much. I'm not enough. Something is wrong with me, with my life. I should be happy, but I'm not. What's wrong with me? That's really a horrible question, by the way. What's wrong with me? Because your brain will answer. It will tell you what's wrong with you, and it will make up stories to justify the feeling of what's wrong. You remember that one time when you were in 3rd grade and you licked all the red off that candy? That's why you're having problems now. What? That has nothing to do with nothing. But the brain is wired to answer the questions you ask it, right? I'll give you an example. Do you still have a polka dotted tree in your backyard? Your brain didn't question the question. Your brain answered the question. It entertained the idea that polka dotted trees exist, which they don't. Birches are kind of close, but they're not polka dotted. Your brain does not question questions unless you've trained it. Your brain answers the question it's given. When would now be a good time to dig into this more and listen to what I have to share with you? Now. Oh, okay, fantastic. Love that for us, right? So it's this idea, no matter how big I make that number in green, it will never solve that problem in red. And the higher we make that number on the outside, the bigger the number on the inside becomes, even when in actuality, it hasn't changed. But we perceive it because being 10,000 to 9.5, it's close. But 10 million to 9 million, well, 9 million might as well be 1 million. And for those of us that are not at that level, our thinking process is like, that makes no sense. For the people who are at that level, fucking makes every bit of sense. Oh my God, I never thought of it this way. And that was the reaction today as I'm sharing this with some of these guys. I'm like, cool, now that I've opened the frame, I'm not going to leave you here, right? I'm going to give you what the A, B, and C are and how we can begin to start shifting this. Now, let's pretend, right, that A, that B, that C is what you think, what you feel, and what you do. And the three of those put together creates your destiny or it creates your legacy, right? So think, feel, do. And of those three, what you think and what you feel is an internal thing. And it's made up and it's arbitrary. It's a story. But it drives what you do, and what you do drives your destiny. See, whatever you think and feel, that's your business. It's personal. But what you think and feel drives your actions. And it's your actions that drive your impact. And it creates this beautiful feedback loop, right? Said another way, because I used to work with kids as young as 3 and kids as experienced as 93 and everybody in between. What you think and what you feel is your story. It is your justification, your rationalization, your BS, your belief system. And what you think and what you feel creates the game you play. Your behavior is a game to get energy. Positive energy, negative energy is secondary. I got to get the energy. And if I can't get the win, warm, big, happy, positive energy, then I will give myself or force the negative, the loss, the small, sad, cold energy. Because we're wired to win the game we play. And if you're trying to play the success game and not getting your result, then you're going to play the loser game and you're going to be the best loser ever. Because we're wired to win the game we play. If you don't like your results, you've got to change the game. But that's really freaking hard until you change the story. There's a bunch of behaviors, a bunch of games that we play with ourselves. When we change our story, we change our identity, we change the reality that we're thinking and feeling, it begins to change a lot of behaviors. Because if I can change someone's identity, a bunch of behavior no longer matches that stronger identity. That's not who I am. That's not what I do. And that's how we can affect massive change in a short period of time. Change the game by changing the story. And it's mostly helpful if you have somebody outside your situation, like me, a guide on the side, to coach you and guide you and help you get to your results. Because your story and your game creates the results, or it creates feedback. You either get what you wanted or you get feedback on something needs to change to get you what you wanted. So either way, you could be grateful and go, oh, dude, I learned exactly what not to do the exact same way again. Fantastic. And my question for my clients, what are you going to do different? Well, I don't know. Okay, well, let's play a little bit. Let's experiment. And this is where I can take a guy who's struggling at the end of his marriage and like we're about to announce to our kids that we're going to separate and divorce. And then 5 months later, he is in the most amazing marriage again and he doesn't know what we did. All I know is you took me from A to D and I don't know how. And I said, as long as you can maintain, do you care? And he said, no. And I said, fantastic, mission accomplished. See, I'm weird as a coach or a consultant. I want my clients to fire me. I want you to remove the need of me and my services. Now, you want to hang out as peers, be my guest. Love to have you in my community. Come join the King Circle. Let's kick it and do some fun stuff. But the need to be with me, the need for coaching and support and nah, dude, I want to help you to get to the place where you understand what I understand and we can see eye to eye. Leaders create more leaders, not followers. Think about the last time you heard someone say, oh yeah, therapy, I graduated, I'm done. Or is it forever always, you need more therapy? There's always issues. Is that really the case? Or does your therapist have issues and they need you to have issues to justify their issues? Because you cannot get to a place your therapist doesn't believe is possible for you. You are limited by their model of the world. All I want to know is, do you want to be right or do you want to get results? If you want to be right, keep doing what you're doing. If you want to get results, cool. Let's go play and let's keep adapting until we get to your results. Because all there is either you get your result or you get feedback. So now, last piece, we're going to talk about being happy and being in pain. So notice how a lot of people are in pain. A lot of people are stuck in that negative 500 and they don't know what to do about it. Well, here's how that happens. Not here's why that happens, story. Here's how that happens, the mechanics. It is this. Try to control the outside. And then try to harmonize with the inside. Sounds like this. I don't feel like it. I don't wanna. When somebody says I don't feel like it, what they're telling you is they are allowing their internal state to determine their actions. I didn't want to make $1 million. They made me. No, you got to go after it. I didn't want to clean my room. They made me. Okay, then you're living at effect. You're not living at cause. Right? Trying to control the outside. It's raining. No, it's not. I decide it's not raining. You're never going to win if you try to control external reality. Try to control your kids. Try to control your wife. Try to control your boss. Try to control your clients. It is never going to work sustainably. You can do it in short periods, but eventually it's going to fail. It's going to collapse because they have their own agency, their own ideas, their own needs, their wants, their fears, their doubts, their dreams, their desires, and you can't control that. But if you keep trying, you're going to be in pain. And a lot of people in our world right now are in a lot of pain because they're living at effect. They're living in the external. They are achieving to be happy. And then when they don't achieve, they're miserable. And if we learn to live at cause, we can happily achieve. Because we know we take action, we're going to get impact, we're going to get feedback, we're going to know what to adapt. And all of a sudden it becomes a game we can win. Because any game you play, if it's not win-win, if it's not good for me and good for you, it will not be sustainable. If you have clients and it's not a win for them and a win for you, it won't be sustainable. If you have kids, if you have a wife, a husband, and it's not a win-win, it will not sustain. It will collapse. Anything, win, lose, win, or lose, will fail given enough time. That's true in geopolitics. It's true in religion. It's true in parenting. It's true in driving. It's true in business. It's true everywhere. The only games that are sustainable are win-win, mutually beneficial on both sides. So how do we do that? Well, if you want to be happy, learn to control the inside. Control what you think, control what you feel, control what you do. Not suppress. Not make it wrong. Not, I shouldn't be that way. If you want to be a man, you got to kill the boy. That's true from mastering the man, but leading like a king? No. Because the boy is the birth, the seat of your safety and your playfulness, your creativity, your joy. So if you kill him, try to be a dad with a belief that you got to kill the boy to raise the man, and now you have a son, and he's behaving like a little boy. How hard are you going to be on him? How inflexible are you going to be? How much are you going to be stuck in, I'm right, do it my way, stop wasting my time? And you're going to make him wrong, and he's going to grow up with wounds. And he's going to grow up with this identity of there's something wrong with me. And what happens as he shows up in life and love and business and marriage and career? Born big, happy, good stuff? Or is he going to give what he has? He's wounded, he's going to give wounds. But if we can get to that place of I learn to control my thoughts, control my feelings, control my actions, we have random thoughts. That's not me. I don't think like that. When you have that random thought, rather than, oh, they let the intrusive thoughts win. No, I'm not those intrusive thoughts. Who is that? That's not me. I don't think like that. Here's what I think. And then you tell yourself a stronger story. That's how you reframe your identity, and that's how you rebuild yourself in a stronger direction. So learn to control the inside and realize it is a skill that gets better with practice and belief systems that reinforce I can control what I think, I can control what I feel, I can control what I do. And I'm getting better every day because it's a skill, because it is, right? On the other side, to be happy, we control the inside and then we harmonize or influence the outside. See, very early in my marriage, my wife has previous relationships. I have previous relationships. And we got to a place of tension and friction with each other. She got mad, took the kids, left. And then she came back later because we actually do love each other and think the world of each other. And I apologized. I said, listen, I'm sorry I'm doing pig-headed guy stuff, but sometimes I'm a pig-headed guy. But what I can promise to you is I will never make you wrong for what you feel. I might not agree with it. It might be based on wrong information or wrong ideas. None of that matters. That's all secondary, right? If I have a problem with how you feel, that's my business, not yours. You have a right to feel how you feel. And not because I give you permission, but because that's reality. I will never make you wrong for what you feel. Whether I agree or not comes second. And that is a promise I have held with her now over 12 years because she was made wrong for what she thought and what she felt. And she was yelled at and she was spit at and she had things thrown at her. And it's like, dude, that's not me. When I get mad, furious cleaning, I wash the dishes because I get into action. It gives me time to think. It gives me time to de-escalate and I make the house look good too. So, it's a win-win. But that is me harmonizing with the external and realizing, no, she had someone treat her horribly. I'm not going to treat her that way because I can control what I think and what I feel and what I do. I'm about to say something really horrible, so I'm going to shut my mouth and I'm going to go clean. I love you. We'll figure this out. Give me 10 minutes. Sometimes I'm able to do that, not always, right? But it's recognizing I can influence what she's feeling. I can influence what she's focused on. I can influence what I'm focused on. And that's all we can ever really do at the end of the day is either we harmonize, so we accept what's going on, or we influence, we guide it somewhere else. If your partner is hangry, fighting that, yelling at that, getting mad about that doesn't help, doesn't fix it, doesn't solve it. But if you can influence it, if you can harmonize it, we have snacks in the car. Let's get a quick coffee, right? This is the idea of how we can be proactive instead of reactive. Remember what I said earlier? I can find the good in any situation. My wife is mad and she's letting me know about it. What's good about this? Damn. I love the fact you're telling me where you are and what you're going through and where I've dropped the ball so I can be better. You are an incredible wife. Thank you. Do you think that helps make her more mad, or does that help to take down some of her tension because she feels heard and understood? Now, a wise man figures out how we got here. Don't get there again. Have new and interesting arguments, not the same old argument over and over and over and over again, right? I like new and interesting arguments. It's more fun. But we're going to argue sometimes. That's okay. Because you care, because I care, because you have standards, because I have standards, but I want to win with you. Right? And when I work with couples, I talk about power partnership instead of power couple. Because power couples almost always end up dueling behind the scenes and fighting with each other, and eventually they tear their marriage apart. But a power partnership is sustainable. So now I invite you, noodle on this. Give me some feedback. How does this land for you? What is your biggest aha? What's your biggest takeaway to go, holy crap, that makes sense. I like this. This is helpful to me. Where are you living? More at effect or more at cause? And what would it be worth if you could be at cause almost all the time? If you knew how to get out of those emotional traps, if you knew how to get out of being triggered, what if there was a way to remove triggers once and for all so they never bother you again? This is the type of work that I do. As I was talking with these investors today, it's like, this is my normal. This is like blowing their minds and they're like, this makes so much sense. It makes so much stuff come together. And I'm like, yeah, this is my Tuesday. It's normal for me. So what do you want? Where do you want to go? I'd love to be an asset and an ally, and I'd love to be a guide on the side. So if something in this stood out for you and you want to hear more, come join the Unstoppable Mindset. It's the free Facebook group. I'll put it in the link in the comments down below. But you can also book time with me. leadlikeaking.com/book-now and get 30 minutes on my schedule. Let's talk about your situation. Where's it at? Where do you want it to be? Right? I am not cheap, but I do go fast. So if you want to spend 10 years in therapy and still be in therapy and have beautiful terms to describe why you're stuck, then that path is available to you. But if you want to take 10 years worth of work and squish it down into 10 days, 10 weeks, sometimes 10 minutes, then you got to come talk to me because I like to go fast and I don't make people wrong. But if you're sick and tired of spinning your wheels, if you're sick and tired of repeating it ad nauseum, talk, vent, and nothing improves, let's talk. Change is easy. Growth is where the real power is. And when you grow beyond your current reality, your new lows will be beyond your current highs. I've seen it happen time and time and time again. So you make it a fantastic day, and I'll see you when I see you.